Previously on Jeff the Killer.
I did say I was gonna start making videos every week. Oh, Jeff the Killer, there we go. He sang.
Go to sleep.
I'm Margaret, and this is my husband, Peter, and my two sons, Jeff and Leo.
Barbara invited them to her son's birthday party.
Mom!
Jeff!
I had a strange feeling. He got a weird feeling. A weird feeling. Some random feeling. That feeling. Some kid on a skateboard jumped over them.
Hey! What the hell?
Whoa. Over there is Keith.
And he's Troy.
Talk about a tub of love.
And I am Randy, if you catch my drift.
One of his friends pulled a knife on him.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Jeff got that feeling again. Feeling he felt how powerful it was. Feeling happy. He felt that strange feeling go away. We have witnesses proving that you fled the scene. It was me. I beat up those little punks.
Son, just put the knife down.
Put up his hands and walked over to the cops.
No, Liu, it was me. I did it.
The police led Liu out to the patrol car. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. Jeff is woke up by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face.
And now, the conclusion.
Jeff, it's the day,
she said as she opened up the curtains and let light flood into his room.
What? What's today?
Asked Jeff as he stirs awake.
Why, it's Billy's party.
He was now fully awake.
Mom, you're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after...
There was a long pause.
Jeff, we both know what happened. I think this party could be the thing that brightens up the past days. Now get dressed.
Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get ready herself. He fought himself to get up. He picked out a random shirt and a pair of jeans and walked downstairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up. His mother in a dress, and his father in a suit. He thought, why would they ever wear such fancy clothes to a kid's party?
Son, is that all you're going to wear?
Said Jeff's mom.
Better than wearing too much,
he said. His mother pushed down the feeling to yell at him, and hid it with a smile.
Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression,
said his father. Jeff grunted and walked back up to his room.
I don't have any fancy clothes,
he yelled down the stairs.
Just pick out something,
called his mother. He looked around in his closet for what he would call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions and an undershirt. He couldn't find a shirt to go with it, though. He looked around and only found striped and patterned shirts, none of which go with dress pants. Finally, he found a white hoodie and put it on.
You're wearing that?
They both said.
Oh, no time to change. Let's just go,
she said as she herded Jeff and his father out the door. They crossed the street over to Barbara and Billy's house. They knocked on the door, and at it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed. As they walked inside, all Jeff could see were adults, no kids.
The kids are out in the yard, Jeff. How about you go meet some of them?
Said Barbara. Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns. He might as well standing in a Toys R Us. Suddenly, a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and hat.
Hey, wanna play?
He said.
No kid. I'm way too old for this stuff.
The kid looked at him with that weird puppy dog face.
Please,
said the kid.
Fine,
said Jeff. He put on the hat and started to pretend to shoot at the kids. At first, he thought it was totally ridiculous, but then he started to actually have fun. It might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off of Liu. So he played with the kids for a while, until he heard a noise. A weird, rolling noise. Then it hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skateboards. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with a burning hatred.
Hello, Jeff, is it?
He said.
We have some unfinished business.
Jeff saw his bruised nose.
I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you, and you get my brother sent to JDC.
Randy got an angry look in his eyes.
Oh no, I don't go for even. I go for winning. You may have kicked our asses that one day, but not today.
As he said that, Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose, and Jeff grabbed him by the ears and headbutted him. Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and both arose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house. Troy and Keith got mine every time. Troy and Keith both pulled guns out of their pockets.
No one interrupts, or guts will fly,
they said. Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabs his foot and twists it, causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him.
Need some help?
He picks up Jeff by the back of the collar and throws him through the patio door. He picks up Jeff by the back of the collar and throws him through the patio door. As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff again, until he starts to cough up blood.
Come on, Jeff. Fight me.
He picks up Jeff and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter and smashes the glass over Jeff's head.
Fight!
He throws Jeff back into the living room.
Come on, Jeff. Look at me.
Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood.
I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC, and now you're just going to sit here and let him rot in there for a whole year? You should be ashamed.
Jeff starts to get up.
Oh, finally, you stand and fight.
Jeff is now to his feet, blood and vodka on his face. Once again, he gets that strange feeling, the one he hasn't felt for a while.
Finally, he's up,
says Randy as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed. All rational thinking is gone, and all he can do is kill. So fucking stupid. He grabs Randy and pile drives him to the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. The punch causes Randy's heart to stop. As Randy grasps for breath, Jeff hammers down on him. Punch after punch, blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies. Everyone is looking at Jeff now. The parents, the crying kids, even Troy and Keith. Although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff. Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs for the stairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him, each shot missing. Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith follow up behind. As they let out their final rounds of bullets, Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs the towel rack and rips it off the wall. Troy and Keith race in, knives ready. Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down hard, and now all that's left is Keith. He is more agile than Troy, though, and ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He dropped the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck. He pushed him into the wall. A thing of bleach fell down on top of him from the top shelf. It burnt both of them, and they both started to scream. Jeff wiped his eyes as best he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight into Keith's head. As he lay there, bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile.
"What's so funny?"
asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter and switched it on.
"What's funny," he said, "is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol."
Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol in the vodka. While the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached his skin. Jeff let out a terrible screech as he caught on fire. He tried to roll out the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol had made him a walking inferno. He ran down the hall and fell down the stairs. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, drop to the ground, nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and the other parents trying to extinguish the flame. That's when he passed out. When Jeff woke, he had a cast wrapped around his face. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over his body. He tried to stand up, but he realized there was some tube in his arm, and when he tried to get up, it fell out, and a nurse rushed in.
"I don't think you can get out of bed just yet,"
she said, as she put him back in his bed and reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea of what his surroundings were. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother.
"Honey, are you okay?"
she asked. Jeff couldn't answer that. His face was covered, and he was unable to speak.
"Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed of trying to attack you, they decided to let Leo go."
This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube coming out of his arm.
"He'll be out by tomorrow, and then you two will be able to be together again."
Jeff's mother hugs Jeff and says her goodbyes. The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by his family. Then came the day where his bandages were to be removed. His family were all there to see it, what he would look like. As the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face, everyone was on the edge of their seats. They waited until the last bandage holding the cover over his face was almost removed.
Let's hope for the best,"
said the doctor. He quickly pulls the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face. Jeff. Liu and Jeff's dad stare awestruck at his face.
What happened to my face?"
Jeff said. He rushed out of bed and ran to the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of the distress. His face. It's horrible. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. His face was turned into a pure white color, and his hair singed from brown to black. He slowly put his hand to his face. It had a sort of leathery feel to it now. He looked back at his family, then back at the mirror.
"Jeff,"
said Leo.
It's not that bad."
"Not that bad,"
said Jeff.
"It's perfect."
His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching.
Jeff, are you okay?"
"Okay, I never felt more happy. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. Look at me. This face goes perfectly with me.
He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it, looking at it in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind, his sanity snapped. Now he was left as a crazy killing machine. That is, his parents didn't know.
Doctor,
Said Jeff's mom.
is my son all right? You know, in the head?
Yes, this behavior is typical for patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers. If this behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here, and we'll give him a psychological test.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
Jeff's mother went over to Jeff.
Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go.
Jeff looks away from the mirror. His face still formed into a crazy smile.
Okay, Mommy. Ha ha ha.
Him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes.
This is what came in,
Said the lady at the desk. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie her son wore. Now they were clean of blood and now stitched together. Jeff's mother led him to his room and made him put his clothes on. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day of life. Later that night, Jeff's mother woke to a sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded as if someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked into the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks.
Jeff, what are you doing?
Asked his mother. Jeff looked over to his mother.
I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now, I can smile forever. Jeff's mother noticed his eyes, ringed in black.
Jeff, your eyes!
His eyes were seemingly never closing.
I couldn't see my face. I got tired and my eyes started to close. I burned out the eyelids so I could forever see myself, my new face.
Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was going insane.
What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful?
Yes, son,
She said.
you are. Well, let me go get Daddy so he can see your face.
She ran into the room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep.
Honey, get the gun,
She stopped as she saw Jeff in the doorway holding a knife.
Mommy, you lied.
That's the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes them with a knife, cutting both of them. His brother Liu woke up, startled by some noise. He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to go back to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up before Jeff's hand covered his mouth. He slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge it into Liu. Liu thrashed here and there, trying to escape from Jeff's grip. Shh, Jeff said.
Just
Go to sleep.